Back to the action again. Alligator Saurus still here alongside Wolfie Too Hot after seeing that 5-game series. Carmel High School defeating Michigan City and going on to face Linden High School in semifinal 1. We'll be seeing Brebeuf Jesuit Prep, who got a forfeit over Bolingbrook, taking on Ben Davis, who won in 6, 4-2 over Lake Shore High School. But before then, Wolfie, we have a very special guest in the booth with us right now. We got Mr. CEO himself, Marty.
Yeah, it's gonna be extremely fun to see Marty come in here, man. Have a little bit of a history with him, but Marty, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, guys. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Wolfie, you were there at the very beginning, the first League OS live stream of an esports event 2 years ago. We were just talking about that. Like, that's kind of crazy that it's been that long. There's some NBA 2K action that day from the T-Wolves Gaming headquarters, actually. But this has been super fun tonight. Can we get any more Indiana teams going tonight? I think you might, know that our guy Cookies is from Indiana, so either he's stacking the deck or, he's just lucky. But really exciting. I'm interested to see what Carmel will do in this next round. They actually, that high school won our Valorant Winter Champions Invitational last month. The champion of champions, all the state champions from Valorant all throughout the fall. Carmel took that one, and here they are in Rocket League 2, impressive. But they actually lost yesterday to the team they're playing here in the second round, Linden. But we're going to watch 2 other teams. I don't know what to make of these other teams, but I trust you guys will, make a good call. And I just want to put out the word to everybody that LOS College Portal, the new recruiting platform from League OS. All the competition you're seeing across all these states is happening on League OS. Of course, LOS Scholastic Champs, the league we're playing in tonight, that's on League OS. But now there's a recruiting portal on top of it. All the kids participating tonight, as long as they get their grad years in, they need their high school graduation year, but that makes them eligible to be seen by verified college coaches. We got more colleges coming in every single day. They can search for college programs across the whole country. So if you have any questions about that, students participating tonight, all the schools participating tonight, just make sure you put your grad years into your League OS profile and get ready for messages coming in from college coaches, because they're going to be coming. And anybody that's watching on the collegiate side, just go to portal.leagueos.gg and portal.leagueos.gg. And again, that's where you could inquire. There's a button there to get into our Discord and say that's what you want to learn about. Okay, guys, that's enough from me. I'll let you guys get into the action.
All right, I'm massively appreciated there, Marty, and a big shout out as well. I mean, we were talking before the first game. I always love to see these opportunities for younger players to come in and just get kind of this experience. You learn so much from competitive atmospheres, just about who you are as a person. And there's obviously you want to win and you want to get that glory, but there's so much that comes to it. And as someone who works at a university and works with a lot of younger folk on this kind of stuff too, there's so many lessons that aren't explicitly laid out in front. And esports has the potential to be one of the strongest drivers of that, in my opinion. So love what you're doing here. Love these opportunities and these pathways you guys are helping create.
Thanks, Peter. Appreciate that.
To put on top of that, it's one of the most overlooked, I feel, and the fact that you're able to come in here and be doing this for some of these young kids and put on productions like this to give them the feel of what a high-class production would feel like. It gives them that extra oomph to maybe, we might find the next Zens, we might find the next Daniels in these tournaments, but overall, hopefully these players are just having fun and make their way into, if they don't play traditional sports, give them a different avenue, still make a way to get to that second level in education and get that school paid for as well.
Well, how lucky they are to have you guys calling their action, which is really fun. But yeah, I mean, giving them every chance they can to play, to compete, play across state lines, even though, Indiana's getting a workout here tonight. But yeah, we're going to give them all the chances they can, that we can. And thank you guys again for making them look so good tonight.
No, always happy to be here. Always happy to. I mean, with Cookie's DMs asking if you're available, I mean, you go long enough back with them, you got enough of a good character reference, kind of like helping lead the front on this. So I don't know how you deal with him and how you snag him, but you got a good guy leading the broadcast side of it.
I'm aging quickly, but yeah, we're dealing with him. All right, guys.
That's fair.
Let's get at it.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. But Allie, So us two back now, man. We saw it there. Marty wanted to see the best that they can actually that we can potentially put out there tonight, and I think we're getting that. These players tonight have been putting on a great face, and I think here we have some interesting teams. And one that it took us a little while to pronounce in Brebeuf, and Brebeuf. I'm always in for a Brebeuf in this moment and see if they actually get that buff here for the teammates they have on the pitch. But 5 minutes here in game number 1, Allie.
I mean, hey, we did see where Ben Davis had to go through 6 games to get into this matchup. We talked earlier about how coming in warm can be a benefit, so who knows? But no, absolutely, these teams have been stepping it up big. And like we said, talking about pronunciation, believe it or not, folks, we do discuss and try to get info on how to pronounce things. Just because we're tongue-tied, it's because we're bad, not because we didn't try. But getting a good goal there to start it off, an awkward one for the Brebeuf Jesuit defense. Jumper putting it over in front net, Jane just trying to get back to that near side post to cut off that line of attack, but unfortunately not there in time. It wrecks off his hood.
Yeah, great job to start things off quickly in the first 20 seconds. What we saw from our last game that we commentated here in that first round, starting off early usually means that you're in control of this one so far. It sounds so typical. Of course, Wolf, you're in control of this, but you understand how tough it is just to come in first 30 seconds and say, we're dominating you from the early jump. There's nothing that you can do to stop us.
And that's been something that's been in a talking point, obviously, with football season where it's at right now. Why do players come in? Why do teams come in and they do a basic run play to start the game? It's because it's collected. It's because they know what to expect and they can get their nerves calm. That's what we're seeing so far from this Ben Davis squad. They haven't gone for anything necessarily too wacky. They haven't pulled out any chicanery. You just gotta send Jumper, take it to the right, take it to the left. Either way, he finds it in.
Yeah, and 2 goals. Talking about taking control, I think they have just put everyone in the trunk, not even the passenger seat. Said, boys, you're not even going to help dictate. You're not going to see where we're going. The ride's going to go forward, and you're just going to say, all right, it's dark in here. How are we supposed to get out as this hole is going to continue to grow? First 60 seconds finally off the board. This blue team needing to find a ways to get something going to build some momentum.
And kind of similar to what we saw in the previous series, it's just a lot of offense coming out from one squad. Haven't been too concerned by what we've seen from Brebeuf yet by any means. They've just had to play on their back foots a little bit more than I think they would like. But they're going to have a nice little sneak away here. Jan almost able to catch the defense sleeping, but Jumper not just getting goals, picks up a save as well. Picks up a demo, getting it done across the stat sheet, pick up a Hattie as well.
This is starting to become Jumper's world, and we're all just living in it. Reaper, baby. Can't get in the way. Top right corner. It's just been Jumper all day. I think Kid and Void are just happy to say, hey, just take the gold, man. We just want to see us win at this game right now.
I mean, look, it's easy to reach up into those top bins when you're literally named Jumper. So, hot start. We were talking about players last series with very hot starts. Obviously, Loggins and Mr. Mekki were taking it off, but so far been Jumper, but Maxi is going to break the trend, rocking that gold octane with the mainframe decal, rocking these passing plays, the give and go will put Brebeuf Jesuit Prep on the board.
This is where this team, they knew that they can't allow for a 4th goal to go in. Then you're really sitting at a point where you're potentially looking at next game, but 2-goal deficit. It's extremely possible to come back in here, but they need a goal quickly. This could set it off as that one off the crossbar almost just became an easy go-ahead.
Just the radius of the ball is all the difference from it going in versus getting deflected back out. But it does stay out, and you just got to play the ball as it bounces, and sometimes that's just how it goes. So we're going to see some boost deals coming in for this Brebeuf squad. I'm trying to keep that offense going, but Jumper, a great chase out, trying to pop it up to a teammate, but Maxi first one there. A challenge around the corner, but Kid looking to get a little bit of breathing room. Some more challenges on this midfield, and Wolfie, we saw these early goals, we saw the quick angles of attack, but looking to be a little bit more of a traditional game sense.
Yeah, it's one of those where you catch the opposition sleeping. And unfortunately for you, a lot of people would like to dip their big toe into the water. I think this team in orange, they just did a cannonball and said, we're in the pool. What are you going to do about it? No lifeguards in sight. As this team looking for that 4th goal, but a second one almost coming in. The floater, as that one will fall under 2 minutes.
Gonna take a look, see if how calculated was the off-speed shot. I think Jayan very much was pulling that out of his bag. It was not a mistouch by any means, but getting the defense to bite, expecting that laser on in, and instead seeing that nice soft movement of it, they can't get there in time. So back to a 1-goal game. Might have an opportunity for Maxi, but he's going to put it right into Kid's hood. Kid can't quite sneak it in. Void Winter is going to find the side of Jaden, but Jayan getting that big clear. It's going to get that boost steal, see if we can get something going. We got the team pinch, Wolfie! We've seen it happen!
Calculated. Just calculated. God, that was amazing. We see teams go for this all the time, and it always goes awry. Bottom left corner, we got a tie ball game.
The perfect camera. We've seen these, and we've talked about our experience doing it. How often is the camera preset that well to get that POV on a shot like that? Team pinches are some of the most hyped things. Everybody loves them, unless you're seeing it go over your head.
Chef's kiss, but yeah, it's one where you see it happen, you're like, oh, of course, Rocket League, come on, fix your service. How can that even get touched there? But hey, the people at home, we're talking about content back in that first series. This is content now. In a game where it seemed to have been a one-way street has opened up. This one being in the corner, going to try to find a way to fall in there. But for this orange squad in Brebeuf, losing this lead, how do you go into this next game with 60 seconds to go and try to tell yourself, we just go next? Yeah, we're up 3, but we just need to find ways to close it out.
Well, I think it depends on if they end up winning or not. If Ben Davis end up dropping it, I mean, they're going to be looking at that 3-0 scoreline and just kind of thinking what if a little bit. But if you're Brebeuf, of course, you're going to be excited. Even if Brebeuf loses, coming back from that deficit is huge, and nearly finding the angle is Kid. But Maxi is going to turn a deficit into something positive, but almost cleared out the post. We were talking about some of the questionable stuff, and Wolfie, we might have to change from studying physics on these and studying computer science, because this has been I'm not going to say questionable, but interesting redirects off of some of these posts.
You know, there was an old saying that I got privy to back when we first started commenting. Sometimes you just got to be better. And I'm just saying, he got better. He was better there. There's nothing else you can say. You can say it's luck. You can say it's anything. But one thing that Jumper has been is consistent. That's all you can say about him. And we're back to equal with 25 to go.
Continuing the trend of Jumper being the one that scores for Ben Davis. And go up 3-0, give 4 in a row, and now tie it back up. What else can you do at this point? You just got to keep fighting. So a big goal there in the final 30 to bring this back to that tied game here in game number 1. Jumper's gonna do it again, this time off the backs of the Kid demo. Wolfie, you've known me long enough. I'm a big fan of the physical gameplay, and we're seeing exactly how important it can be.
If you're just looking at my face right now, I'm just in absolute disbelief. That's amazing the way they've been able to come out here, and I'm loving the mentality for this team. A lot of teams would see themselves go down 3-0 and start to panic. This team just refocused, and that's what you need here in a Game 1 series, and for a best-of-7 series, that is. This one we can put down. Void trying to leave this one, trying to waste some time, but one more attack will happen for this blue half. Will come to an end as Jumper. One more will go.
I mean, double hat trick in game number 1. I mean, Jumper, hello. Where'd you come from? Jumper V2, what happened to V1? Because if version 2 is the one that's picking up all these goals, maybe I know what happened to our one of our old favorite orgs. But regardless, Jumper V2, what a game in game number 1 to really set the tone for what Ben Davis are capable of. And got a shout out as well. Excellent off-ball plays from Kid, from Void Winter, getting assists, getting a save, getting that big demo to get that momentum back on their side. And Brebeuf Jesuit Prep School, they had that, again, an excellent 3-minute stretch in there where they're able to get 4 unanswered, but the bookends did them in.
You know, I had a whole V1 pun that I was like, oh, he left V1 back in regular season. Right when you said that, you threw my entire pun out the wazoo. I forgot everything I said. Credit where credit is due there. But, you know, one thing that Brebeuf needs to do here, we're talking about credit where credit's due. Jumper, he 6 for 6. You don't see a person go 1,000 if we're talking baseball right there. And, you know, this player right now is one of those that you have to now keep your eye on. This team for this blue side, you have to find a way to get a body on him. Allow for the demos to come on. You're talking about how much you love the demo play. Jumper has to have somebody constantly on him. But 5 minutes he can give him to. What will the aspect change here as this one about to set off?
Yeah, Aquadome, where a lot of storylines tend to start, where you see either the bounce backs to equal a series or 2-0 leads develop. Right now, we're seeing that physicality start again. Already some chase down attempts coming in for Ben Davis, but we'll work to get it out of their half. And Wolfie, neither of these teams really missing a beat, still picking up at the speed, but Void Winter is going to try to make something happen. Can't get it past that last line of defense.
You know, this team right now just needs to worry out this one. As Jumper gets it from the top ropes.
New rule, only Jumper can score. I mean, that's how it was before, but I mean, Kid was so lined up to be able to secure this. Jumper, I'm not going to say that was the most well-advised cutback with a player right there, but goal securing, right? Not goal stealing in competitive environments. You just, whatever you can do to make sure it goes in, and continue on. 7 goals now for Jumper in 6 minutes.
His team's thirsty for some points. They're like, can we get some points, please, Jumper? And he's all like, guys, you want points? You want a W? I can get you at 1, but not both. And they're saying, all right, we'll take the dub here. As Reaper pushing it onto the corner, trying to find open teammate, open net, but won't be able to get a touch. As that one just going to be a fight there near boost.
Fight crossing past that midfield. Kid showing some ground control, and Jumper's gonna be the one next up, trying to get that pass back. A great read there by Reaper, baby, to send it off over into the Ben Davis half, and nice pass in mid as well. But Jumper quick to it, and Wolfie, we're seeing this kind of come into play again. The speed of these challenges is playing such a difference. Jumper's just been so quick.
He has been. My only issue is once they start getting themselves used to that quickness, and now Jumper is no longer becoming as effective as quickly as he can, how are the other two teammates going to step up in this position when they're so used to just taking that back seat role? Who's going to be that second man to really initiate the offense? Is Jumper going first one up? Void going right down as Kid can't get the shot, the save there at the goal line.
And a big stand from Brebeuf. They're still down by 1, and they need to keep getting it, or keep pushing to get it out of their half. They have not seen the opportunities up on offense like they did in the previous game, but of course they had to go down 3-0 to start seeing them. But still, just one goal difference. 2:45 left here in Aquadome, and for Wolfie, again, a very balanced game, albeit a little more lower scoring than game 1.
Yeah, I agree. This is one of those where we saw back in that last series how wide the score line was, and how things just kind of tempered right back down for the expectations. At the end of the day, there is some small rank to spare, but at the end of the day, these players are still Rocket League players at the end, towards the end. And this is kind of where this team just needs to just say, hey, we know it's going to be a long day. We just need to continue working hard in this blue half. The way they finished that last game, they have to be some positivity there. This one almost sinking through.
Yeah, no, exactly after your point, you got to find that positivity. You just got to play who's in front of you, and haven't seen anything too terribly off by any means. Obviously, the showcase of this series so far has been Jumper really getting up into the air and making some magic happen. And Kid is going to have actually some power behind this one. Butterflies popping off this far underwater. You don't see that too often, but you like to see the power coming from the Kid.
And Kid finally getting some refreshments, gets himself 100 points there in Aquadome, and he's saying, finally, the goal line's open. And we were curious, or at least I wasn't, who was going to take that next leap. Kid has had a couple opportunities to really sink this ball through, finally got his teeth sinked into one there as Void just going to try to take it up the wall. This team needs to be careful. They can't allow for themselves to go for some of these double commits to open up that score line where we know this blue team's going to play to that final whistle.
They might need to start getting a little bit more committee as well, but it all depends just how these interstitial plays go. Individual challenges being what they are, it's the sequence. How do you string them together? What happens in between that really starts determining who wins the games overall? Reaper may be very patient with that one that I don't know if I would have been so patient, but regardless, picking up a save. 3 for them. Maxi trying to get this infield pass, and Jan will be there, but Void Winter enough time. A little bit of a discussion here in the back of the blue zone, and this is going to lead to just at least a little bit more offense from Ben Davis.
Yeah, final 60 seconds, up 2 goals. All you have to do is try to waste, I would say, just 30 more. Leave the last 20 seconds and you find yourself at a victory here. This team's just doing that. Keep away as Maxi can't keep this one going. Jaden leaving it to the corner. Need to try to get this one on the other half. Has just been a struggle so far, as no one able to really capitalize on anything here.
So far, I mean, with 20 seconds left, glancing at the stats, the ball has been in the blue half for more than 70% of the game. It's dropping off a little bit as we're getting past this midfield, but it has just been so controlled. 12 shots for Ben Davis High School, only getting 2 goals because saves were starting to come out. I mean, 8 saves for Brebeuf Jesuit, but again, can't get those shots going. They're going to be back looking how to bounce back, as they're going to fall 2-0 in the series. 2-0 in game 2, unless we see something. No, ultimately it hits the ground.
And Ben Davis has been a team that has just shocked the world. And, you know, we're really going to avoid winter, in my opinion. Getting this one is the biggest shock to me. That's where that kind of came from. But Jumper, 3rd man on his team after that impressive game 1.
And I mean, kids stepping up too, having some great car control coming in. I mean, putting on 5 shots of their own, picking up an assist and a goal. I mean, you know, Jumper is still the highlight of it because he draws so many eyes to him as he comes up on the attack. But Void Winter, kid doing exactly what they need to do. But I mean, we've talked about them quite a bit. Wolfie, what does Brebeuf have to do?
Oh man, Brebeuf, those last 2 games, I really feel that they're at that point where, oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I don't know what just popped in my head. No, Brebeuf right now, it just seems that the aggression play could be that factor where if they can find a way to allow themselves to push on forward in those moments where you're seeing this team kind of creep on forward, because there are moments here with this orange hat, I feel that they're a bit penetrable in that back line for some of these long clears, but you know, for this blue side, this is going to be one of those games where how are you going to allow for these adjustments? I'm looking for Jaden and Maxi to really make that next leap here in game number 3.
Now we got Quack coming on in, seeing if he'll be able to make that difference here for Brebeuf. It is going to be very interesting, Wolfie. It's going to take these adjustments, going to see if this sub energy is able to bring it in. I'm a fan of using subs when you have them, but I'm also a fan of getting goals when the opportunity arises. Big one here for Void Winter. First goal of the series for them. First goal of the game for Ben Davis High School.
And Ben Davis starting off the win, they know how, as the senior has just been, I'm sorry, for Void actually coming in here. One of the lower classmen's in, and you're saying how as grade level doesn't matter. Maxi showing that off, the freshman putting on a huge goal to tie this one back up.
Just a big bounce back, good cheat coming out as well. So often you see on kickoffs, you're maybe have a little bit of discussion who's going to follow up, who's going to go, but you know what? Full send, because if it's going to be open like that, may as well finish it off either way. 1-1 inside 30 seconds of game 3. Jumper doing just enough to send it back over to the blue half. Void Winter will strip it off of Quack. Jaden will be the one to bring it past midfield.
Yeah, this is one of those games, Nally, you're back to equal. Your heart doesn't stop racing here, Allie, until you get that next goal. You're saying, all right, we're no longer down. No, this team's still down in the series, as one more goal could help change things off. As Kid trying to push this towards mid, not too much boost to really get too much, but we'll get a 50 as Jaden is trying to work past the other half with a good job just contesting as this ball hits towards midfield.
I'd like to see these passing plays go to the 1-2-1, not quite there, but maybe the 1-2-1-2? No, the JN will go ahead and snuff that one out early, but these give and go plays starting to work out a little bit, but not quite getting to the end. So taking the quiz, but haven't signed their name, so they don't get credit for the effort. 3.5 minutes to go yet, so we'll see. I think I've still got plenty of time. I do like the kind of change in pace that we've seen Ben Davis taking, my apologies, Brebeuf Jesuit taking a little bit more control pacing-wise, slowing it down. Not really giving these lanes for Jumper to just go over the top, playing some very smart, very sound rotational Rocket League.
And like that, the sound rotational Rocket League able to put themselves in with the big goal. The season 12 grand champion Jay Hind gives his team a lead here late in this game, 3:17 And 2 minutes almost off the board, Allie. This team knows how to come in here and take what's theirs. And Jahan has been one of those players that do exactly that for the squad.
Good placement on that shot, too. We're going to see if Maxi can get the double. But Kid was on that back wall looking to make a play. But you know as well as I do that coming flat across the net and still going where you want to go is so much more difficult than it seems. He wasn't able to go for it. But we might see a little bit of recompense as Jumper going to put this one away, get it back to a tied game. Maybe a little bit of a tip drill. All three players, bang, bang, bang. Jumper puts it home.
And when in doubt, give it to the senior. Jeffrey needing himself to come out a big day, and he's been having that. It seems that he's kind of let Kid and Void just have their way up there. Like, all right, boys, go up there, lead this offense. When I need to come in and clean things up, I will. And he's done a great job of just leading the charge. Jahan, big dumbbell there by Maxi, going to alleviate some pressure. We'll just fall into the corner. No one able to get too much of the long clear. Going to try to reset things here on the blue half.
That demo coming out, but again, Blue not able to bring it, although Brebeuf are trying. Jahan might have some room to work with. Void Winter will bring it back off over the corner, has control and some boost to work with. Going to be challenged quick. Starting to see this more length of the pitch kind of coming in on it into this. Jahan, did you find it? No. Scrapes the outside of the post and it bounces straight back up. But notice, Wolfie, these players are really spacing the pitch. They're not letting anything go in over the top, that it is kind of stymieing the passing efforts.
You know, that's my favorite type. These players understanding they have to be unselfish with the play. You can't have too many mistakes in this level of Rocket League. Those little mistakes, you're going to get capitalized, especially if you're getting yourself to a point where you're trying to find yourself in that grand finale. Quack going to push us towards mid. Hits Jahan, but can't find too much. It's a team play. Going to have to try to reshape itself as Jumper unable to get too much as well. No boost in the tank. Needs to rotate back as he is awkward. They have him in a good position. They need to use it. And Jahan, in the midst of the chaos, grabs the lead.
Maxi scooping it up, just corralling it. The defense, they're expecting a shot coming in from it, but Maxi has that awareness. He sees the open real estate on that back wall. He gets the drop down pass over to Jahan to get them past that defense and to put Brebeuf back on top as they're still fighting to try to get that win in this series. They're fighting from that down 0-2 position. They got 80 seconds left. If they can keep this connection going, it's going to look a lot better for them, but they got to clutch up here.
Yeah, I love the play style change for them. It seems so individual back in that first game, and now they've learned from their mistakes. They have a 1-goal lead, still not out of complete trouble as Void trying to rotate back, needing a goal quickly, but this blue half continuing to be relentless. This Kid unable to keep things safe. And, you know, you're seeing this team just struggle here, Allie. And the more they're trying to get off their half, the more that they're unable to.
And look, pressure makes diamonds, whether they're glitter or it's because you dropped 300 MMR in the moment. That's just what happens. And right now we're seeing that come in a little bit. Still 30 seconds left, but possession has been pinned in this Ben Davis half. Brebeuf really turning it up and keeping it so much closer to their cars. Kid's going to get a power touch on here, but cleared out by Quack. It's not going to really lead to anything too threatening immediately. A good touch there by Jahan as well. In 15 seconds, again, it comes down to the possession game. Likely only one shot left for this Ben Davis side. We have to get here quick, though. This is going to be awkward. Not much time. Wolfie, see if they can get this tripped up. It looks like it's going to be rough. Ultimately, it is going to hit the ground. So Brebeuf, Jesuit will make sure we see at least Game 5 in this series. In Games 1 and 2, they were close, so not too surprised to see them pick off Game 3.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm a bit surprised. I felt that Jumper kind of was held in check most of this game. To see him at the top of the leaderboard for Ben Davis, I wasn't expecting to see that. I was going to say we needed to see more of Jumper, and this is kind of what happens when he gets nullified. His other two teammates just don't have the same effectiveness to them. Nothing against him whatsoever, but what Jumper brings to that squad is just a different type of electricity. They need to have him going. But Brebeuf, amazing win here. This is one of those that you just had to steal away from this orange squad, and now you give yourself some room to work with.
And they get the win on, and the question kind of comes a little bit, is it Super Sub energy, or is it just the one-off? I like bringing in subs, as I mentioned. I like being fluid with it. If you need to change it up, you keep a player on the roster for that reason. You never know what can happen. Quack played well in that one, picking up the save, getting involved in it, and hey, Brebeuf got the win. Of course, not taking anything away from anybody else. That's just how the matchups go. But it's going to be, is it just because it was a one-off, or are Ben Davis going to be, are they going to be slowed up? Are they going to get that going again? Jumper held in a little in check. But it's going to be a new game, Wolfie. We're going to get this all reset, get 5 more minutes back on the clock. There's a reason we play the game, so we can predict all day long, but until it gets played out, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, in just 5 minutes, all answers will be put on full display as Maxi in the goal octane trying to see if he can strike gold here for this blue side. They're looking to grab a second game victory as Jayan off the kickoff won't be able to grab too much. Jumper trying to put it right back down, unable to, trying to start this one off with some fire.
Start off with the fire. Just come in, get that uppercut, and get things going back the way you want. Sometimes you just gotta say, hey kid, chase this one down. Keep on going for it. Don't give up on the play. 2 defenders there, a slight blue trail afterwards, but just a miscommunication on the defense with 2 on near post. No one back. We find that early lead for Ben Davis High School, getting back into rhythm after dropping game 3.
Yeah, this team just needs to know they can't panic with themselves. They feel that they have the best player on this pitch and Jumper. They have to just continue relying on what got them here. As Quack just need to rotate back. Jahan bit in an awkward position as Jumper can try to keep this one up. Maxi at the top of the ropes will be able to clear this one away. Almost allowing themselves to go back, and Jayan does catch it.
Man, talk about just stripping the ball away on the shot and just rifling it down for a full field pass, and Jayan getting that connection. Beautifully played series of events there for Brebeuf. You saw Jumper come up, you got that early challenge. Maxi gets the beat on it, and Jayan knows that he's going to be looking downfield and looking to strike quickly, and they get that team play. Just a fantastic series for there. Got to be feeling good if you're Brebeuf regarding your chances at tying this series back up. But of course, you're facing against a Ben Davis squad that played very, very well the first 2 games. They ain't going away.
No, they're not, and the man's going to continue being in your face. Is wearing that silver tournament winner tag, and Jumper showing that he can be anywhere and everywhere, and that's going to be a lead change in the first 60 seconds.
So, 3 goals in 53 seconds. We see that all the time in threes. I mean, 4 goals in 55 seconds. I mean, this is like a 1 stat line at this point, Wolfie.
I can attest to that there. Boy, just getting there quicker than everyone, and we're talking about kickoffs, one of the most important aspects, most consistent aspect of Rocket League, where if you're going to lose on kickoffs, you might have a bad day. But 4:05 remaining, just down 2 goals. The boys in blue trying to change things up here as they don't want to go down another game. It's only going to make their struggles even more as Jumper can't get much there. The shot rated off quickly.
I'm noticing both teams as well, they're getting a lot more patience on this defensive sides. We saw that pre-jump that I called out from Maxi that I really, really liked, but beyond that, a lot of the saves have just been staying grounded, not panicking. Quack had gotten one there. There's a couple we saw as well from the Ben Davis half, and it's just kind of getting more settled into the series. I mean, we're in game 4. The players have been playing for a little bit now at this point today, and you can start to see those nerves are starting to calm. Potentially it's the comms getting a little bit cleaner. That's what's, but we're still at, 4 goals scored here so far. As Ben Davis keeping that offense going after spending some time on defense.
Yeah, and a good touch there by Maxi, warding off potential 4th goal here for the orange side. They took no prisoners from the early on. They just said, everyone on the boat, we don't care what you have to say, you're going our way forward. As Jayan trying to rotate back, we'll have full boost. Need to get a touch here to beat Jumper. This one will just be 50 on the half. And it's just one of those games where your offense is starting to stagnate and you're starting to bunch up a bit. We saw how open they were on their previous attempts. It just seems that now their methods may have just reformed back to what they usually were used to now.
I'm just curious how they're picking up pirate lingo when they're the high schools are in landlocked state. I mean, I know the Great Lakes are pretty close, but not too terribly much there for piracy to my knowledge. But I respect it. We respect it. I respect this pass, but Jumper is going to strip this off before Maxi can get there. Nice little lob up. Jayan wanted it, but he got called off by Quack. We'll see the defensive Brebeuf have to step up here. a little bit broken rotations of the ball, lying free for longer than normal we've seen in this matchup.
Exactly, and it only comes the longer these series go on. This one going to be put into the corner. Maxi trying to catch us away from his net. There's a tough touch there. We'll just be pinched off, and that's one of those where it just doesn't go your way. If they're able to win that 50 and keep things going, this orange side potentially continue on the score line, but this is one of those games where you just kind of have to take it the way it's been going. Good midfield pass by Void, trying to get right back to it, but the freshman and Quack able to ward it off.
It was such a stalemate. You could see everybody quickly running through what's going to happen, and we're going to see the geometry classes, the geometry lessons coming out, but it's not going to be there. The power could not be found. Jayan picking up the save to keep us within 2, but certainly threats coming in from Ben Davis High School. They want to keep this pressure up, not give Brebeuf anything to work with, as they're going to be hunting for these goals, but instead, Jumper again. I mean, I've lost track of how many goals Jumper has at this point, but is doing everything they need to do to keep this momentum going on the Ben Davis side.
How many goals? A lot. I think that's the only stat that you have to think of, but 109 remaining. This team in orange, they've taken the vitamin C. They said, we are prepared. We have everything on our side. Let's just get ourselves to the next round, but still needing, I believe, one more till we get there. As 60 seconds, kid 13-15 makes it 1-5.
So, I mean, Wolfie, I got to say at this point, for Brebeuf, for this game, I mean, you just got to start thinking about regaining at this point. I mean, it's a single elim tournament. We're only keeping track of game differential, not score. So, you know, bing, bang, sling, sling. What's the worst that's going to happen? You lose by more? Now's your chance to come in and really have some stress-free opportunities at trying to loosen up. Because, I mean, game's on hand at this point, so why not go for it?
Yeah, just go for it. Exactly. You have nothing to lose at towards the later end of this game. Now just try to be creative. Try to see what you can get away with. This Quack can't get away with a goal there. We'll have to rotate back, as this will make things awkward for the final 30 seconds of this squad looking for one more goal. I feel a goal here could really put a big boost in the morale after this loss. As we will push towards midfield. This orange half trying to come up unscathed in the final couple seconds.
Get to that final 10. Again, might have something here, a little bit more physicality, some fullback-like moves from Brebeuf trying to open up room, but the gaps are closing. And ultimately, the door closing on this game as well. We'll still keep it up. Players are getting so good at keeping the ball up at 0 seconds, yeah. Wolfie. I swear, they just get better and better no matter what league or anything we're working in.
I agree with you, and you know I love it and hate at the same time because we're trying to call out of it, like, and this will be, and they're keeping it up and they're continuing on. But I have to make things fun.
We get it. You know.
But nonetheless, you know, Ben Davis, they're back to doing Ben Davis things, taking another victory. Jumper finds himself second for his squad, 2 for 3, but. Overall impressive match. It just seems the more this gets going, the less we're seeing a dependency on Jumper and more of a resurgence of Kid and Void Winter.
Yeah, it's been good to see. We saw, I mean, the two of them were making inroads in the first couple of games, but couldn't quite get there, going for a couple of ground plays, really getting the passes and the demo set up, but weren't able to get the final touches. But since then, I mean, really have unleashed it and able to get those goals and get it going, and turning it from a single dimensional offense into really this three-headed dragon where you have to start looking for everybody, not just Jumper coming from, you know, the same roughly 30-degree angle, whether it's up in the air or on the ground whatsoever, but you got to keep an eye on all three of them. On the flip side, Brebeuf, they had that much improved game number 3, but it just kind of fell off after game 4. I think a lot of it just has to do from the confidence of this Ben Davis half. They're starting to go for stuff you didn't see early on, and they're just feeding off it.
Yeah, and this is where I think iron sharpens iron. It's where you have to be creative. I feel that in order for you to get better, you have to try new things, and this is where this team is starting to get into that realm of going to that notebook, going to that drawing board and saying, we're just going to try to figure out a way to this puzzle. As Void Winter going up, 2 men up actually, as Kid unable to push it down here, almost finding a first goal in the first couple seconds, but Maxi back the other way, but a beautiful save.
Jumper got that save, but that's something you got to really be happy to see if you're a Brebeuf fan. that, again, the give and goes. They're finding the connections. It's just getting it past the defender, getting it maybe just that little bit quicker upfield, or finding a way to find a demo, find something. But excellent play. Of course, Jumper's going to find one on the goal line there. Get a waterfall down. Actually, with a good little bit of a doink catch to send it off to the corner and out of harm's way. The Jumper's going to look to make something happen here. A lot of offense for Ben Davis.
Yeah, Ben Davis trying to punch their ticket already, but we'll see if that ticket continues to wait a little longer. As Kid can't get much of a tough jumper from the top ropes, looking for a teammate down, but Maxi warding him off quickly. And that's something we've seen more, is that backboard defense by this blue half. It feels that it was getting uncontested back in that first early of the series. Now they're starting to see these teams choose crazy on the double touches. Double demo won't be able to fall. I thought that was their chance.
We were 2v1 for a moment. I mean, the car parts littering the field, and they're able to regain and keep it at this 0-0, but it certainly looked like an opportunity for Brebeuf to find a way past that defense. Instead, they're going to be the ones back in their own half. So a nice redirect coming up from Reaper. He went for the backflip. You saw Void Winter up. He didn't want to overcommit and open up a gap on the defense, and we're starting to see that Z-axis getting used a little bit out of reach of the teammates as well. You're starting to see that patience come in as players are judging the arcs on these balls.
Yeah, that's one of the one things that we were talking about, the Rocket League IQ. It's one thing to be a certain rank. It's another to have the experience and continue to really be in these high pressure situations, knowing that, all right, I need to be here, I need to come here, I need to be able to put myself in position to put my teammate in the better one, as Jumper finds the best position for himself, grabs this one at halftime.
Had to take another look at that one too from Kid's perspective, because Wolfie, correct me if I'm wrong, that is not the first time we've seen Kid have a lined-up shot and Jumper come from over the top to secure it.
No, this man has just been John Cena from the top ropes. No one has been able to see him until he's right in front of you. As it looked like it'd be a little give me back to Kid, but will be stolen away. Looks like he's gonna have to wait a little longer.
Jumper might be able to get it through, and Void Winter taking a turn to put it onto the back wall. Kid up early, trying to get the read, but Maxi should have a runaway goal. Low boost, he's getting the pass back to Jahan, and Wolfie, my goodness, talk about the awareness. There was Maxi maybe could have tried to force it, maybe could have done the mind game. He says, you know what, I got something better, I got a teammate streaking in.
Yeah, that's an unselfish play if you ever seen one. And I thought he was going to take the easy net. If that ball didn't go inside, I think that's one where you look at it and say, what are we doing? But thankfully, fruitful outcomes will be delivered, as this one.
I'll argue. I thought it was getting saved if he doesn't make that pass. Honestly, I thought we were going to see the defender make that clutch motion, but nah, getting the awareness there. This time, just go for something a little bit more direct on after getting bumped up and Jahan sending this one in. But suddenly, a duet of goals for Brebeuf. They're up late.
Yeah, this is a great sign here for this team in blue. They know that they have had a tough series here tonight. They don't want to be at the end of it. A good touch here will push us towards mid. As these two teams, they're trying to battle to see which one of them will represent Indiana in that grand finale. So, there's a lot of state pride also on the line here.
Well, I mean, if Carmel gets the victory over Linden over in the other semifinal, it'll be Indiana versus Indiana no matter what. Currently 2-2 over on that side, so not sure where that one's going to go yet, but 3-1 in game number 5 here. Brebeuf are roaring back. They're finding the passes. Jahan's finding himself a hat trick courtesy of the dime from Maxi.
Yeah, this team is starting to really show itself off. Jahan has been one of those players to make sure that his team has had good fortunes tonight, and I feel it's been his role to really lead this offense. We've seen a lot from him and Maxi. One person I'm looking to really try to make more of a name for himself is Reaper Baby. He's going to have some good highlights so far, but really has to take full control as Jahan says, say my name, but the great save is going to have to wait a little longer.
Reaper's just been holding it down on defense, has the Savior medal. And to your point, I mean, a lot of the eyes have been on this offensive half for Brebeuf, as they haven't really, I mean, this is close to the most goals. They've had, 4, 0, 3, and 1, so, 3 goals here above average for them so far, if you want to be technical about it, but more importantly, getting the win is what's going to be huge for them. Bringing them back within 1 in the series if they do it. It's Ben Davis. Otherwise, I mean, they look so good on the games that they're on. They've just been slowed down here in game number 5, and it's been looking good for Brebeuf. I'm liking their chances as this series goes.
So do I, and if they can find a way to sneak this game the way they currently are in, this one can go the distance, and that's what we've been hoping for. We knew it was a best of 7, and teams kind of take their time to get acclimated to the weather, as this one needing to fall, and we will see ourselves a game number 6, and Brebeuf lives have at least one more game in their bank.
I think it's tactical. Ben Davis won the quarterfinals in 6 games, and, you know, why fix what's not broken? So go to 6 again, feel comfortable in that area, and, you know, kind of give it your all while you still have an extra life in the tank. But no, definitely a big step up there from Brebeuf. The defense, I mean, 9 saves coming out from them, just swatting away what Ben Davis were sending towards. And really, that's where that big step up is. Jayan absolutely making a name for himself here in that game and leading Brebeuf to that victory. But yeah, they got to get 2 more, Wolfie, if their back's against the wall.
Oh yeah, that's tough in any series. Getting 1 game, going back and forth, one game, 1 loss, 1 win. You know, that's more comfortable. But trying to take 2 in a series against Ben Davis, who at the end of the day, they still have a jumper on that other side, who is going to be a menace to really stop. As you saw, 5 shots to his name, only was able to put away 1, and he's not going to be missing too often the longer we get into this game.
One thing that's really important to note about that, though, is there was 11 shots for Ben Davis. They got 1 goal. I believe it was 9 saves. I have the memory of a goldfish, so it left my screen, and, you know. But point being, all the shots were accurate, is what I'm getting at. I mean, they were threatening. It was not like they registered a shot and it goes careening off the back wall. They were on target. They needed to be saved by Brebeuf, and they did. They stepped up and they made those plays. They picked up the dub, so let's see if we can get everybody in, and it looks like we are going to remake the lobby. So, bit of a false start here in game number 6. Everybody's ready to go, but we just got to make sure everything is dialed in.
I don't want to call it a false start. Let's just say they're just building up the pressure for everyone. The intensity is continuing to mount here on the LOS Champs Twitch channel. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, smash the heart button. Leave a follow, excuse me. We're growing every single day. We need your help to continue doing that. But one team that does need some help, I feel, is going to be Brebeuf. You were talking about how they're 2 games down right now. What do you feel can be the difference from this team really just taking over and just going on this back-end sweep?
I mean, I think kind of leaning into what I was talking about the last game is they just need to get that physicality on the offensive goal line, because their goals are being saved. Well, how do you get rid of goals being saved? Get rid of the defender. So, I mean, if somebody's going up, you're starting to see these passing plays work out a little bit more. They're looking for each other, trying to get this going. But if the first person, instead of going for a 1-2-1, go for the 1-2, find someone and take them out of the lane, because the ground mechanics of these players have been solid. They don't have to laser every touch. Just get that catch, force the defender to hesitate for a moment, and that is a perfect lineup to take them out and open it up for your teammate.
We'll see how things open up in the early setting. We've seen early goals in the first 60 seconds throughout most of these games. Most of the games here tonight overall. But a fresh 5 minutes of fresh new lobby here in Neo Tokyo. Going international. These 2 teams trying to grab a big win here.
You gotta love seeing Bob's Ramen up on the sidelines too, Wolfie, because you know that means we're late in the series. You don't get to see the neon. You don't get to see the glitz and glamour of this sci-fi situation unless we get deep into a series. So bringing us to 6, and, you know, after the first 2 games, I mean, it was an aggregate of 8 goals to 4, looking a little bit rough, but Brebeuf have brought it back, picking up those couple of wins, so they're just gonna have to get it here, see if we get to a Champions Field appearance.
And a double commit there. Maxi the top rope. We'll put this one towards midfield. This kid just need to rotate back, grab some boost. They get a little pressure shot, makes everyone jump there near the goal line.
Just, hey, get pressure on, test them out, see how they're going to react. Send one in from midfield. But Maxi able to get the save and send this one careening out of the corner, take someone out. And hey, maybe they're listening to the stream. Maybe, you know, I tend to listen to streams when I'm playing on it, but I'm not going to say I'm all that good. So don't take my advice on that. But regardless, they're definitely getting that physicality in and keeping this pressure up early.
No, and this is where this team just needs to allow for themselves to continue picking at the armor of this orange side. You just need to just say, hey, let's see how much you can bend until you break, and we're going to make sure that you snap in half as Void jumping up. We'll have a double commit there. Jumper keeping on to the other side, but Jay able to spawn in a good position. And, you know, they're seeing both these teams starting to get a little angsty on some of these rotations.
And they're starting to cut it a little bit quick, trying to catch the opposition off guard, trying to make something happen maybe a little bit too quickly. And we're still locked up, so they're trying to, you know, get that early advantage, trying to figure something out. But that can just as easily leave you back, leave you wanting for a little bit extra. But still 0-0, so you can't be too terribly critical of it yet. That shot's getting saved as well. 4 shots total. We're seeing what, doing some math over here quick. I mean, no goals, so obviously they're either saved or they're off.
This kid trying to find a teammate. Reaper Baby. We get a good clear here, but Jumper able to come to himself. One more touch. The Void gets warded away as Maxi cutting out the passing lane quickly. As this team able to secure themselves a big defensive save, but can they do it twice? The crossbar making its money tonight.
Defensive MVP year in and year out, making an appearance to keep us 0 past halftime. They always tend to jump in at the most inopportune time, Wolfie. I mean, the net's been in the same place for, what, 8 or 9 years now, and yet it still seems to jump back and forth so quickly.
Oh, no, we said it. If anyone is going to be getting RLCS defensive MVPs, you said it. The goalposts need to be at the top of that list, and they'll have my votes 10 out of 10 times. As Jayan trying to work on through, can't get much to a team, as nobody there to really help him out. As a rotation towards the back net, as 2 boys from this orange half just sitting in a corner.
They just got to work to get their way out. I've kind of said it before. It's hard to score if you don't get any shots, but it's, you know, obviously you'd like to see the shots go in if you're a Brebeuf fan, but we'll try to get this back out. They have not been on defense much. They've generally been able to keep this up in the Ben Davis half, and this might be a little bit fortuitous. Reaper Baby shot saved by Jumper, who has that savior medal on the game. Getting to that final 90 seconds, Wolfie. We're getting closer and closer to maybe not quite golden goal yet, but certainly silver.
Yeah, and a quick update, ladies and gentlemen. Carmel High School currently up 3-2 against Linden High School, so we may just see an all-Indiana final. Will still need to come. Final 65 seconds. It's a great job there by Void.
We'll see if Void Winter trying to bring that one out across. Jumper getting the soft touch. That one's going to be very dangerous. He had to take a second look at that if you're a defender to find if it was going to sneak in under the crossbar or not, but we stay 0-0, and Wolfie, I'm curious to see if we go all the way to a 0-0 overtime. It's one of the most rare overtime starts, besides something like 12-12 or something like that, but generally you don't see it where you go 5 minutes without a goal, but we're getting close to that point.
We'll see if it continues on. Final 30, but we're here for dramatics, but are the players ready for it? We're in for a historical matchup here for this championship, well, technically semifinal championship, as Jumper pushing it right down. You know, that even to say that, it has the energy of a grand finale. You're seeing how much these players are putting their will on display.
Absolutely. They're good. No! Kid tragedy. Kid's gonna send it back. Maxi went for it. He wanted to put it off to the side. I want to believe he was trying to pull off, but no. You often see that the greatest redirects are on your own goal, and now with 5 seconds left, Brebeuf have to shake it off within milliseconds. And it's not going to be that. Ben Davis certainly was looking to go to an overtime, but that's just not the way the ball ends, Wolfie. You know, we go into these trying to be unbiased, but I feel like my heart was ripped out with them.
We got robbed, Allie.
We got robbed.
We got robbed. Oh my! We got robbed of an overtime. That's all I care about. And you know, very unfortunate there for Maxi. You know, hopefully he's not beating himself up too much. There's not much you can do in that situation. Just this is Rocket League at the end of the day, and that phrase is as true as you can possibly ask for. But wow, what an anticlimactic way to end that game. It
is one of the things that just kind of it hurts too, because so many things could have gone differently that game. I mean, you don't go scoreless for 4 minutes and 53 seconds without there being a couple opportunities, but it's so easy to just kind of like focus in on one mistouch when you had to play nearly 5 minutes to get to that point. So no, I definitely hope that he's not shaking his head over or hanging his head over that, because it was just a heck of an effort throughout the series, but a bummer that it ended that way. But I mean, if you're here to root on Ben Davis, you're going to be pretty pumped because they're going to find themselves in the grand finals.
Yeah, it's just a somber feeling that we get here in the booth for that. We should be all up and excited, but it's nothing that the reason the loss is just how it went down, and there's nothing whatsoever against the opposition. But dude, that was a game. As we still have Linden High School currently down 2-3 right now in series, and Linden High School, they look good all day today. We saw a little bit of Carmel High School. What are you really looking to see there? Is you hoping for Michigan, the team that representing Michigan, or you looking for an all Indiana grand finale here?
I think it would be kind of fun to see the all Indiana. I'm hoping to see a good series. So I mean, I can do the cop out and say I hope we see whoever the best team is, but no, I think it's going to be fun either way. And as you remember, folks, these players are playing for some prizes. The winning team going to get 3 Logitech G435 wireless headsets. And I can honestly say I'm wearing my in-ears because I'm casting, but a wireless headset makes a world of difference at your setup.
Yeah, it does. That's one thing that I personally love with my headset here. I can move around freely. Sometimes I walk away from my computer and I get snatched right back. But one thing that we were snatched right back, ladies and gentlemen, is all the action here on the Los Champs Twitch channel. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, find out which one of these two teams will make it into that next round. But don't go anywhere. Go grab a snack, because the intense action is continuing to mount.